If there is one thing every new teacher should do before they are a full-time contracted, like signing a contract teacher, it would be... Welcome back to my channel. I'm Nikki, aka MrsRhodesMath, aka the Snarky Teacher, on all social media handles. So, well, not that. I'm at MrsRhodesMath on all social media handles, but you get the picture. Also, I am a co-host for The Real Teachers of Atlanta, and I will link that information below so that you can go and check us out for all things real teachers. Pretty much. So I actually am here because I want to share some stuff with you. So let's do that. If you're thinking about becoming an educator, there is one, in my opinion, even though I think I'm right, there is one surefire way to really know if this profession is for you. Because I think that's important. You want to know, like, for real. And I think that everybody should get this. You need experience. You need exposure. And I feel like, at least in education, there's a way for you to get some experience before you sign a contract, and you should do it. And if you haven't guessed by now, that way to get experience is through substituting. I know, probably not the answer that you wanted, but I think it's very important. So why substitute? Why be a substitute? Well, substitutes, for one, you get paid. So it's not like, hopefully things change where you can get paid for student teaching, but if you've never been in a classroom beyond like being a student, then you have no idea what being a teacher is like. You have no idea. And even in substituting, I still don't think you're going to get like 100% of what that experience is like, but at least you will have a general understanding of what a teacher's day-to-day will look like. At least you can kind of have an idea of like classroom management. You can start to think about like your personality, your skills, your traits, the things that you are going to need to become a teacher. But during this time, I also think that one of the things that's important is you get to meet other teachers who are actively in education. You don't have to go like searching for them because they're gonna be right there in the building with you. So, but substituting, you can do this and it's super low pressure, right? Because nobody expects the sub to be professional. Like, they don't expect you to know a lot. They don't expect you to really do a lot. They just want you to be a warm body in the classroom. But I would be like, do beyond that. So being able to sub. So you've completed, let's say you're at that point, you are eligible to become a substitute. You can go to every district. Everybody's hiring for subs, so you don't have to worry about that. There is a real literal sub shortage, right? Like, you could probably be 18 in sub right now because we need you. It's like recruiting for the army. We need you so bad. Anyways, that's not the point. So sign up to be a sub. What made this great for me, or why I thought this was so important? One of the things was I had to learn very quickly classroom management, and it is different at every age group. I also needed to figure out what age group and content that I wanted to teach. I thought it was one of those things like, and they're different. The requirements are different for each group, right? Like, so if you want to do elementary, you have to teach all 5 subject areas. I don't like language arts, so probably not the one for that, right? Like teaching elementary school when I did long stints, we'll get to that. So elementary school, you teach all 5 content areas. So math, science, social, language arts. If that is not something that if you're not good in those, we'll talk about why that's important in another video. But if you're not good at those content areas, you probably shouldn't teach them. Like, if you don't feel like you're a well-rounded person when it comes to that and being able to really explain that and be like a good teacher at that, you don't like those things, you probably don't need to teach all 5. And if you don't like little kids, like if you aren't willing to teach kindergarten, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, it's not the move for you. But you won't know that until you get to go into those classrooms. Middle school, which is what I teach. So middle school, in most most districts, it's 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. So you're talking anybody from 11 to 13 years old. So you got 11, 12, 12 to 13, well, 14. So 11 to 12, 12 to 13, 13 to 14. So they start as 6th graders. Sixth grade is a whole new experience. So if you aren't prepared, you're just not prepared. Like, there's nothing we can do about that, but you won't know if you like it. Like, I personally, being a snarky person, I love teaching middle school because me and the kids, we can get back with it, right? We're probably listening to the same music, and for right now, that's great for me. I'm in my 30s. I'm loving life. It's cool. I'm good. I love it. A lot of people don't. When I say I teach middle school, the look on people's faces is always like, voluntarily? Like, you do this because you want to? Yeah, it's fun. I love it. Anyways, I digress. But if you can't handle the snark, the raging hormones that are real off the chain, behavior off the chain, probably don't want to go there. But see, me and my kids, we get with it. It is what it is. Okay? If you can't command a room with that look, then that's not for you. High school is a little bit more chill, but not ninth graders. Ninth graders are just big middle schoolers, at least from my experience. But when I subbed in high school, that let me know that could I do high school? Yes, but they could not be freshmen. I was going to have to be that 11th and 12th grade teacher that they knew that when they came to my classroom, it was going to be business because they really had to pass my class in order to like literally leave this building and become a full-fledged adult. Okay? You need to know that. You need to know that going into it. But that's one of those things you learn. You learn classroom management. You can learn a little bit of like that work-life balance because you start to watch the other teachers. Like, how much work are they taking home? What are they actually doing at home? Listen to their conversations. That was something different for me too. When you do a long-term sub, which if you're able to do that, that's amazing. You are the teacher because you're there for a longer period of time. So especially if you can get a spot where you are doing someone's maternity leave or they're on extended leave for some other reason, whatever, that works out great because you can go in there and you are the teacher for months, weeks and months on end, and you start to take on a lot more of those responsibilities, talking to parents, putting in grades, differentiating. You get to learn some of those skills, which is super beneficial when you go into your teacher program. I want to take a moment to touch on the things that I wish I had done differently. And these are the things that I always make the suggestion that other teachers do prior to becoming a teacher. So you've already heard what you should do. But I did not sub in districts other than the one that I ultimately teach in. I wish I had. I wish I had allowed myself to have that experience outside of the district that I'm in, only because I don't know if I'm getting the best experience. I don't know if I have the best rules, and I honestly don't know if it's the best fit. I think it is. However, I just don't have that real life experience to share that, right? So I don't have that. Now, thankfully, I've met lots of teachers through professional development and through experience and through social media where I've been able to have those conversations. However, I still make the suggestion that you go and do that on your own. Go learn, be a sub in more than one district. It is perfectly okay, and it's actually not against the rules to do that as a substitute. Lots of us do, or lots of subs do. One of the other things that I would have done differently is taught in high school a little bit more. I spent a lot of time in elementary. I really wanted elementary school to work. I thought, like, I've always been a snarky person. I love my middle schoolers. I love teaching middle school, so don't get me wrong. However, I spent so much of my year subbing in an elementary school setting that I didn't have enough time as in a high school settings. I taught a few times, or I subbed a few times in high school, but I just don't think I did it enough to be able to say I couldn't do it. I would love to. I just haven't done it. But that's not the point. So what I'm saying with that is spread it out. I spent a lot of time in elementary only to find out, like, I was very sure pretty quickly with elementary that I did not want to teach elementary. Yet I continued to sub in elementary. Like, it worked out and I did well. And I enjoyed it. I did one of my long terms within elementary school. Don't pigeonhole yourself. Like, don't try to make stuff fit. That's really what I'm getting at. Don't try to make it fit if it just doesn't fit. If it's not for you, it's just not for you, and that's okay. And the great thing about being a sub is you can just be like, you know what? It's not working out. And you can just throw up the deuces and walk away. But always leave a lasting impression. So yeah, I would have done that. I would have spent more time in high school. I think I would have been a great high school teacher, and I probably will. So stay tuned. You never know what the future may hold, you know. In conclusion, if you or someone you know is thinking about becoming a teacher, then go be a substitute, because at least you can get that exposure. You can ask tons of questions. You can be in the classroom. You can test it all out. Like literally test drive it. It's like going to the car lot and test driving your favorite car. Whatever you think you want to teach or want to do, go be a substitute for that and test it all out so you can rule everything out. And if you ultimately find that it's not for you, guess what? It's not for you, and that's okay. And if you love it, welcome aboard. Class is now in session. Otherwise, thanks for watching MrsRhodesMath, aka the Snarky Teacher.